All right, guys, what's going on? Jordan Morgan here from the Trade House, and this is gonna be fast. So, depending on where you are in your career and whatnot, you might or might not understand all of this. So, if you have not gone through IML Academy at the entire thing, maybe even 2 or 3 times, spent some hours on IML TV, you might not understand this. So, if you don't understand this, go do all that. But with that all being said, this is just a little quick overview of how I see the markets. I've done this before. I keep my strategy very simple, but in order for this to work, you must understand really on the long term price movement of where everything is going. But anyway, so first pair we're looking at is AUD USD. Obviously, you can see the direction of where it's heading, right? Which is down, right? In my earlier video with AUD USD a while back, you may or may not have seen it, but we were looking for potentially this to be that last accumulation phase to head up. Now, in between all of this movement, there is a video playing on how you could have caught a majority of these pips. But anyway, I just showed you, obviously there's a large downtrend happening, right? And since the break of this phase all right here, right? Because it's obvious, you can tell price isn't going anywhere. Everything is rejecting off the same area, right? And same here, okay? So since price broke that, maybe we see these lows. Maybe not. We don't know. This is all speculation. But anyway, that's the idea behind this move. Now, obviously we can plug some little trend lines that make sense all in this area, right? Same thing. You can go higher. It's potentially same thing, right? If we were to do this, look on this on like bigger time frames, this trend line would make sense, right? So anyway, what's so significant about this area? Well, for me, you have a very popular way of identifying a price level, the 61.8 area. Now, what I like to do, right, is I don't like to guess, and I talk about this all the time, because there's a possibility if you were to come in here, do this simple fib placement, and start placing your sell limits. All right here, right? Here, I'll make them easier to identify. Okay, skinny. All right, we'll do blue. Actually, since we're looking for sells, we'll do red. So here's your sell, or here's your 61.8, right? Maybe you are a type of person that likes to do it below, so you make sure that you get your entry. Maybe you're the type of person that likes to do above, look at past wick structure, maybe like around here. You look for that entry. But anyway, price can go ahead and shoot right on through this area and keep going up and keep going up. Right? Maybe. Right? You see how we can make this trend line make sense for price to keep going up? So what we want to do is we want to see a reaction. in that area. And as we can see, all right here, we got a little reaction, because remember, AUD/USD moves slow, so this is actually, semi-big moves for this pair. But there are some traders out there that will end up taking all of these sells in this first area where the red box is, be up 15 pips, 10 pips, move their stop loss to break even, maybe even adjust their stop loss now to be right above the all-time high, which is right here. So what's a popular way of getting those traders out? Some people call it stop hunts, right? Impulse moves. And that's what we wait for. Now, when these happen, sometimes, see how we have a little uptrend right here? See how we can draw this uptrend right here? Right? Makes sense. Okay, so if we were looking at this on the buy side, right? I believe it was from here to here. Looking at a price continuation zone, 61.8. Could have possibly happened to continue this uptrend, right? I believe it was also, yeah, here to here. And a little reversal off the 61.8 could have continued the price up. So what can we do to ensure that our analysis is a higher probable scenario of happening? We see this divergence, is what it's called. If you don't know, you can easily Google Forex divergence, click on images, and just see a bunch of examples. But it's basically showing this is your price, right? We see price going higher, but when we line this up, we see volume going lower, right? And so this is telling you that there might be a sell that's about to happen. So how many confirmations do we have so far? Well, we have the large 61.8 that we see, that we know that a lot of traders identify. Okay, we see some reaction to the downside. We see the impulse move and the divergence. So a few confirmations, downtrend, big downtrend in this market. Okay, but another way to ensure your analysis is right is wait for this trend to break. Trend broke, right? And then we start seeing the bottom happen. You can identify maybe this little doji right here. If you like to pay attention to candlestick patterns, that doji right there, right? Possible price reversal. So possibly that can be the bottom. Okay. So if we were to go into replay mode, right? Because this is where we took our first entry off this area, partial entry. Not going to go all in just yet. But after you see this move to the downside, and then also move back up, that's when you saw that divergence. More confident behind the trade, right? At least for me. But what I was seeing was price needed to break this. Price needs to break this downtrend for me to confirm, right? Break the downtrend to confirm possibly this is going to go lower. Okay? And so the strategy right here that I always talk about, I always go for, it's something that's worked for me, maybe it can work for you too. But you see divergence, you're going off of the long-term 6-1-8. As soon as the bottom hits, right, of this candle, because this is what it's going to look like, right? You're watching doji formed, bottom formed, right? So price ended up going down here. Okay, so what do? Look for entries to the downside, right? Good area. This red box. Look in the past. Wicks in the past from their rejections, right? So sell them, it's all in this area. Looks like we got it. Now, this candle right here came from news. So always be on top of what's going on with whatever pairs you're trading with news, because maybe you put your stop loss right above your entry. Maybe the same thing happened. You were that trader that was up 10, 15, 20 pips, put your stop loss break even, now you're out of that trade. So you got to remember, you know, they'll come looking for your stop losses, because that's the only way to win in this market is by taking money from someone else. And then as you can see, let's fast forward to the end. Oops. Price broke. Now, how do you identify take profits? That's all on you. Risk to reward wise, just look at past structure, right? There's structure here. I'm just gonna make this green lines, right? There's structure here. It's this big wick. Price, love this area. There's past structure here. See these wicks? There's past structure here. So it's really up to you to decide where you want your stop loss to be. Maybe you end up partially taking profits on the way down. Maybe you just go for the entire move. Right, another possible take profit around in that area, and maybe you go all the way to the bottom. Okay, so let's show you a different pair, same strategy. High, low, 61.8. Long term, downward. Okay, price coming up to the area. We don't guess, we wait for rejection, and we get in on retest. Now, this one didn't go up to where we normally go for, right? This one did not either, okay? But using this as a confirmation, essentially the same thing could have happened here, right? You got uptrends, looking for it to break, same way, but you could have easily identified, you know, popular areas of where price looks to be. And it's those two. Why? Because look where wicks are in the past. Same thing here. Same analysis. Show you a few more. This one gets a little bit more detailed. This is what we don't see unless, I mean, you try to do it from here to here maybe. Same thing. We don't like to guess. Obviously, if you guessed, you would be in big drawdown. 25 pips here, maximum of 50 pips up here. So we don't guess, right? But it's the same thing that happened here. We'll just leave this fib placement up here, but you can identify this area down here. Maybe it's a little reverse head and shoulders. You can identify Maybe you can see a little Elliott wave pattern, right? Coming into another consolidation phase. Looks like another head and shoulders. But same way of identifying that I just showed on AUD USD and AUD CAD, you do the same thing, right? You see the uptrend happening, and then we'll just delete this Elliott wave. See the uptrend happening, okay? What else do you see? Well, here's the 618, went through it, came back down, played on it, right? This candlestick printout right here, just set up for the buy. Goes higher, but what happens? Price is showing higher movements. All we see is divergence. So what do? Wait for the bottom to form. Bottom formed right here. Fibs, high, low. Oh my goodness. Right? Trend broke. Look for retest. Sell off. Downtrend. Longer time frames. Same way. How do you identify take profit areas? Well, structure here. Structure here. Big structure here. Gap here. Structure here. Structure here. So just examples of take profits, and then the same thing for here, right? Downtrend, 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 downtrend. But with this, you can make it look like this is setting up to go higher, right? How do you do that? Popular placement, right here, this area, right? So now we watch in this area, because this is a daily time frame, how it's going to all set up, okay? Smaller time frames. If this is going to be the bottom, right, and price is going to break out and continue going higher, easy way of figuring out two good areas, or you can just look in the past, but you have put them blue because we're wanting to buy. You have a price continuation zone of the 38.2, broke that. You have reversal area 618 that we're heading for. But same way you could have identified the sell-off. See it? The difference. You saw the long-term time frame that we were looking for the retest already off of this. So we were already in the assumption that was going to sell back down to those areas. So if you already knew that there's going to be a sell set up somewhere, this is printing like it was going to happen, right? Same thing. You could have drawn your little uptrend markings, right? Line it up. Divergence formed. What happened? We broke. Got the 6018 sell off. Right? And where would your take profits be? Well, if we were looking for an area right here for it to continue higher, price continuation, wouldn't a take profit be here? Same thing here. And if you look in the past, structure, right? This could be a good take profit, right? Look at the past structure. This could be a good one up here, past structure. And here. Down here. Down here. So there's some examples. Maybe you would like to trade in that way. You know, if you're going to use fibs like I do, you've got to understand where the higher probable scenario of where price can go in the long term. Because, perfect example, and I'm not saying it won't get down here, but originally, you know, I was thinking price could go here, right? Finish out this move. Same thing. In the couple weeks ago, we were selling this, obviously. You see the downtrend. You see the 6018 placement. Obviously, we don't guess. We see the first rejection, right here. So you go for the second one for the retest, right? See it right there. Oh, well, hey, guess what? You missed that one too. You could have got filled in on the news right here with that random impulse to the upside. But anyway, from these sells, originally was thinking price was going to possibly go down here in the long run, right? But you could have saw this move and seen the strong support in this area, and looky there. So that's just proof of knowing the direction long term and then using fibs to help find entries. You gotta know where to go. But hopefully this helped. You know, like I said, if you have questions, you don't understand really what I'm talking about, all the info is in IML TV. This is just one strategy that I like to use, and it's super simple and very simplistic. But if you have any questions, just hit me up. You know where to find me.